It's New Brew Thursday.
Woo!
And today we are focusing on the Midwest of America.
My peeps.
Yeah,
They all hate me because I hate Minnesota.
Oh, Jesus. That's just a great way to start our Midwest show by saying you hate the Midwest.
No, I love my beer people in Minnesota. I genuinely do.
Blah, blah,
and
backpedaling.
And no, not backpedaling. And because
Pedaling,
of
not
Surly,
paddling.
whatever.
I think bed pedaling.
Whatever. I love Surly Brewing Company. I love Monk's House of Ale Repute in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. These are places that I have to go sometimes, and they are really making
Steve?
it worthwhile.
I think it's about time you got over your issues with the Midwest. Just let them go.
I'm over it. I love the Midwest.
Monk's House of Ale Repute?
Yeah, it is
That's
probably
awesome.
not only the best, it is the best craft beer bar in the Midwest. It is also probably in the top 10 best craft beer bar in the United States, as far as I'm concerned.
Really?
And it has the best
That
name.
nice. Yeah, it's awesome. It's like super comfy couches. There's a huge fireplace in the middle, and it's like just chill and like, oh, the place rocks. I love that place. I'm sorry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's where you met homeboy from Surly, right?
Yeah. The first time I went there was for the 2009 release of Darkness.
Yeah.
So
Cool
it
dude.
was epic.
Omar. Right?
Yeah, Omar.
Omar's
oh
a
man,
man.
sorry. And so we're doing Surly Abrasive.
We're doing Surly Abrasive Ale and also Bell's HopSlam.
Yeah.
Which
Because that was
for
recently released, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a few weeks ago.
a few weeks.
HopSlam is
If
one of
that.
those beers that I
Yeah.
don't pay
Dude,
any
just-
attention to because I can't get it generally, and so I don't really want to know, like, because I'm like, oh, I want it, but I can't have
Yeah,
it.
this is a beer that we don't. This was packaged 12/29/11. So there you go.
Yeah.
We don't get here. Like we don't get any bills in California. So HopSlam especially is one of those beers that comes out that people want to get, just like stuff that Surly puts out.
Yeah, it's
Three Floyds and all that kind of stuff. We just don't get it. So we're very lucky to have both these beers, but especially the
Yeah,
HopSlam.
exactly.
So fresh. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Word. So we're gonna start off with the Abrasive. This is Surly's double IPA.
Look at you, side pour you.
Yeah, he likes to get as much of the can into the beer as possible.
He's pouring it sideways with the mouth like facing the wrong way. It's kind of funny.
This used to be on Growler, right? This was.
Yeah. Well, I guess what happened is like there was.
It just smells so much better in this room right now.
Yeah, I
Smells
just
fresh
I
and
just
aromatic.
There was, I guess, yeah. I guess in Minnesota there was a law that they could only sell like a certain either like quantity or volume of beer in growlers, like period. And so, like Darkness at the time, because it was in a bottle, counted as a growler. So they ran out basically, and they were like, we're gonna do one more beer, we're gonna do growler fills, and that's gonna be like our last huzzah for growlers, and that was 16 grit.
16. That's right. 16 grit.
What
Yeah.
a
And
cool
then-
name for a beer.
Yeah.
I know exactly what that beer is just by the name.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, cheers.
did that turn into Abrasive Ale?
Let's cheers so
Yeah.
we can drink this while Matt continues to banter on.
pontificate. No, but
smells
anyways,
so good.
yeah, 16 grit became Abrasive when they canned it, and
One of the things that I like about Surly is that they really thread the line between the East Coast style of IPA and the West Coast style of IPA.
Right.
They are almost, in my opinion, creating a Midwest style of IPA. Which, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's hoppy and aromatic like we expect here, but still malt forward enough to be considered in the English kind of realm. Because like Furious is like one, in my opinion, one of my favorite. It's in my top 5 IPAs. Period.
Right.
And it's outside the style of IPAs that I generally go for.
right.
So,
Yeah, well, we you know, like the Pacific Northwest is pretty good at doing that too. Like their stuff is like maltier.
True.
And
Yeah.
yeah, but
then
who
again,
cares
like-
about Oregon? Oh, just kidding.
Yeah,
Just seriously.
Or
Just
Washington,
kidding.
where the hops come. Who cares about the place where the hops come from?
Who else can we offend? We hate Jesus. How about that?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And you know,
did Jesus ever do to you?
And you know what else? Fuck Canadians. How
Screw
about that?
Buddha.
Yeah.
Wow. Good Lord, this is going dark. Cut to commercial. Cut to commercial.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, you're uncomfortable. Wow. Anyway, getting back to the beer.
Wow.
This is like that danky wetness of hop. I guess.
Yeah.
It's
maybe not as danky as danky.
It's almost
could be, but
it's not wet hopped, but it almost kind of carries that
that's what
wet
I
hop
mean.
flavor.
It's got that raw hopness about it.
it's for me. It's super like juicy. It's like juicy fruit.
That's
you know?
kind of That's kind of
It's
what
like,
I was trying to say, I guess.
It's like it's super fruity because this is Citra hops. It's just tons and tons of Citra hops in this. I think it said the description said Warrior in Citra. I'm assuming they're bittering with Warrior and then they're using tons of Citra because it almost has that like
it's a really heavy hop nose,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really balanced. It's not that bitter, you know.
This is the kind of
really punch
IPA
in
that
the
I would
mouth.
like to be able to make so that I could have it on tap.
yeah, seriously.
Because I mean, I could drink this all freaking day long without any problems.
Yeah.
Except that I would get rip roaring drunk and probably be
I was
running
gonna
naked
say
down the street. But
if you'd be falling over and you know.
It's a little. It's not really sticky either.
no,
it's not.
you don't
Yeah.
get the because hops kind of come sometimes will give off a stickiness, a pininess.
Well, I think that comes more from the malt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if it's really malty.
But I mean, like super hopped beers, especially if you're not used to them, will almost have like a piney residue that gets left
they're
over
like
in your mouth.
resiny kind of.
Yeah.
You know, what's the ABV on this? That's what I'm looking for.
8.8.
8.8. Thank you.
Which
So-
is very lucky in Chinese.
And this is the year of the dragon.
This is the year of the dragon.
What does that even mean? I know it means something. That it's
What, the year of the dragon?
Yeah.
The Chinese, is it the zodiac? I don't know what it is, but
Chinese
they
calendar.
every year or every series of years.
The dragon is not in the zodiac.
Like last year was the year of the rat, I believe,
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that. Like,
or not
all the
last year,
different
but I think it's
years.
like what is it? Is it 4 years?
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never done any research on this.
I just
But
know it's
it's
the
like-
year of the
Dude,
dragon.
next time you're in freaking Peking Walk, look down at the table at the mat. It'll explain it all to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just everyone. You know, I remember last year it was like it's a year of the rat, yeah, but now it's like year of the dragon, and it's like that's significant. I don't know why though. Like it's like
It's
the dragon's
it's-
badass.
It's
more
not
badass
the
than a rat.
zodiac, but it's similar to the zodiac, but rather than months, it's years.
Oh, okay.
So, because it cycles back through, like
We
there'll
might
be
be
the year
wrong
of the
on
ox
all
again,
of this
and-
information, so don't take it for face value.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't quote us on Chinese zodiac. In fact, don't quote us on anything. Quite frankly,
I was born in Kowloon
nice. All I know is that the Chinese the number 8 is
Zang.
considered lucky. So 8.8. I don't know how did we. Oh,
8.8. Yes.
I was like, how did we get here? What is happening? I think we need to leave.
Full circle.
Yeah,
Yes.
we
We need to go to Master Pairings.
Yes.
Go to Master Pairings where things will make sense and taste delicious.
And when we come back,
Hop slam in my mouth.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Master Pairing with me, your host, Bill Sysak, and today I have John Holzer from New Brew Thursday. Hey. Today I wanted to do a beer you never had before, one. And of course, whenever you're thinking lemon tart, you're always thinking Imperial Stout, right?
Of course.
Yeah. A lot of people, a really nice pairing are fruit beers, lambics, wits, hefeweizens, things like that. I'm going to take it to the extreme, go with a little Imperial Stout. We're going to do some Bell's Expedition, Larry Bell out of Kalamazoo. We're going to do his Imperial Stout, 10.5%.
Maybe Michigan.
One of my favorite Imperial Stouts, by the way. It's in my top 3 all-time Imperial Stouts. I have multiple vintages in my cellar, and we're getting a 3-year-old
Ooh, that looks nice.
Imperial Stout. Beautiful
That
color,
looks nice.
dark, brown, foam.
Oh,
And
too much for
just
myself.
delicious.
Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
Wow.
No bourbon, no barrels, no anything. Just
This is just a straight up
classic
stout.
Imperial Stout. Rich. Winter fruit. Almost licorice, not quite. Almost coffee. Almost chocolate. Got bitter chocolate.
Yeah.
Got some interesting.
There's no heat on this at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Wow. This is
10.5%.
10.5. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Dude.
So with it, we got a really nice lemon tart. Think lemon bar, something along that lines. Tart, sour.
Wow, that's really
Am I going to kill it with the Imperial Stout? Let's see. John, try it. Tell me.
Wow.
Does not blow it up. Does not do anything. It brings it's good. It's a marriage.
Yeah.
It's really tart. Tartness goes away a little bit. Comes sweeter.
This will get you in trouble.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like this is so tart, and this beer is so, like we said before, on the extremes. You know, the maltiness and the roasty. It's not overwhelming. It's all very well balanced for this big imperial stout, but with this, it's like a perfect marriage. Yeah.
It's great. You still get this tartness that surrounds the edges of your palate, but you get this chocolatiness that washes over, and it's just really subtle and really well blended, and it just floats really nicely together.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Doesn't
like
hide anything, doesn't overwhelm.
a great dessert pairing.
Yeah.
You know.
And I want people to see that, because people are always like, well, chocolate with chocolate and coffee with coffee. And,
Exactly.
you know, I can do a fig dessert if I'm doing a quad, because it's got fig flavors. You don't have to have the same flavors. Matter of fact, one of the things I want to tell you, all you budding, it's such a growing thing that so many people are doing, not really pairing, but they're doing cooking with beer. Mm-hmm. And everybody thinks, okay, I cooked with this beer, I need to serve that beer with it. Not at all. Step outside of that. It's fine to do that, but it doesn't mean just because you did a brown ale in your sauce for your roast that you have to drink the brown ale. Try a porter. Try something different.
That beer's going to change when you cook with it. You know,
it does change. Plus, you don't need to have the same beer. Go outside the bounds and try a different style and have people see.
Yeah,
it's so much funner that way.
This is great. I mean, like you said, something like this, you think like like a cheesecake-ish,
chocolate truffles,
caramely
brownies,
caramel. Yeah, and this is completely outside the box when it comes to. This is like a tart lemon pie, and it
like
works.
I said, this is a lemon.
Perfect.
It's really like a lemon bar if you can get lemon bars. It's a lemon tart and it goes well. And I know a lot of the websites recommend things like IPA with it, things like that. I'm telling you,
That'd be interesting
get a clean.
too, though.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
But get a clean imperial stout. What it does when it's IPA, it brings out the bitterness of the tartness. It brings out floral notes, which is great. But these are like hidden treasures when you do things like this.
Especially if you go back and forth, you take a bite of the pie, let that settle in, and then a minute later drink some beer, and then you get this totally different profile.
Oh yeah,
going into your mouth. It's like it's like a double dessert.
Yep,
you know
it is.
I mean?
It's fabulous.
It's really cool.
Well, cool. I'm glad you got to enjoy it, John. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks everybody for watching another Master Pairings.
So we're back from Master Pairings. How was it?
Delicious.
Probably good.
Yummy.
I would assume. Mm-hmm. I was there, so
I was there.
Yeah,
I
it was
ate
good.
the food. It was in my mouth at one point.
It was a feast. So
Unless it was one of like the simpler pairings that he's been doing lately, in which case it was a snack.
Well, yeah, but even then, because we filmed them all at once, it's pretty much a feast no matter what.
Oh, there you go.
Because it's just nonstop eating and drinking for like 8 hours while we film
Yeah.
those. So that's why like we have some that are like normal and then some that are kind of crazy. And then like in the end, they're like, Steve, go in the backyard and sit in the chair. And then John has to just do it by himself because I'm just way too gone.
Yeah, yeah, that'll happen. But
there's no B camera because Steve's just like, oh, I'm gonna sit down now.
I'm gonna sit down before I fall down.
yeah. But moving on, we're going to Michigan now.
Michigan.
Yeah, we're doing
bells.
Yeah, we're doing this. This is like a really
for you,
epic,
'cause-
like
Porter for me.
very well known IPA. This is like one of the really big release beers in the Midwest.
And I know John and I have had this. Have you had this yet, Matt?
It's actually funny because I had this a few years ago. It was right when I was first really getting into craft beer and I started trading. And I got this beer in trade. And the thing I remember about this beer is I opened the beer, poured myself a glass like over here, and I could smell the hops from over here.
This is another one that just lights the room up with the hops.
Well, this is a double IPA.
Yeah,
So,
this is
to clarify.
like 10%.
10%, yes.
Yeah.
Both of these are double, right?
And it's made with honey,
Yep.
which is interesting. I didn't know it was made with honey.
Yeah,
It says right there on the bottle.
Yeah, in the description on the website it says it's made with I think it's like a healthy dollop of honey.
Now, is it made with the honey or is it bottle conditioned with the honey?
It's made with the honey. I don't know about it in a lot of places that bottle condition with honey.
Okay. Well, cheers to HopSlam and to Bells.
To Bells.
Because their Expedition Stout is also amazing if you've never had that either.
Yeah, that's one of my
Just
all-time.
toss that in there.
One of my all-time favorites. It's a great beer.
Yeah, the hop compared to the Abrasive, nowhere near as like in your face, kind of like juicy. You know?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's not as juicy. This is, I think, a lot more like pine citrus, like that kind of area. I think it's a lot more piney.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to probably piss off half the craft beer community for a moment.
What are you going to say?
This is one of those beers that people are like, oh my God, that's like 4 days old. How can you fucking drink that? Yes, this is best when fresh. Matthew.
Yes.
Math?
Math.
His name is Matt. not
Matthew, let's do some math.
The answer is 4.
How long would you say that, like, say you get one of these that's like, say, 6 months old. Done? You gonna drink it?
6 months would be over my limit, yes.
Okay, what's your limit?
I would say about 4.
4. Okay.
So you're saying you wouldn't drink it?
Oh no, I'd drink it.
I slammed that bitch.
No,
but
I would drink it, but like I think like
you wouldn't
about,
hold on to it past 4 months.
Exactly.
Right.
But yeah, it's like you're gonna say. I mean, some people are like, oh, 2 weeks is too old, or 6 weeks is too old, or whatever. No, it's not.
Now, like,
if you get a bottle of something like this that is 6 weeks old and it tastes bad, that's because it wasn't stored properly.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
If you see something like
temperature
this,
variations.
yeah, exactly.
Stuff,
If you see a Bell's HopSlam that's on the shelf at a store that's out, that's not refrigerated, that's like 2-3 months old, then yeah, it's probably not going to be good because these beers need to be refrigerated. But
the hops fall out really quick when it's this hop forward, especially like. Would you say this is flash hopped?
What?
Flash hopped, like hopped, like specifically for the aroma. I call it flash hopping.
Oh, I think you're talking about burst hopping, where it's all at the end, or
I call it flash hopping.
That's a new word to me.
I like that way. I like when you flash hop a beer. It's like. After the.
It's where you have all the hops in a trench coat, and you just go above the kettle and you go
Bam! Bam! You just got aroma, no bitterness, just aroma. Smell it. No, but you know what I mean. Where it's like
London fog, bam.
Yeah, it's just like you just put a shit ton of hops at the very end of your boil, or after the boil, or for the dry hop or whatever, and it's all just very much about just aroma and characteristics and whatever.
Well, I think that's just an IPA thing. Like, I think what you're referring to is burst hopping, which is where you only add hops at the end.
Well, no, because for an IPA, you're always going to put bittering hops in a lot of them.
Not necessarily. Well, yeah, and that's the thing is like with burst hopping, what you're talking about, you don't. But that's why it's fairly rare. I think this is going to be like fairly common as far as the methods of hopping. Only there's just going to be a shitload of hops. I think they actually say shitload of hops on the website. No, they don't.
Okay,
they don't.
I was like, that really doesn't seem very Wisconsin-y.
They ought to. They ought to. It's not very Bell's.
Well, getting back to the actual beer itself.
Yes. Are you guys getting the honey?
Yes.
On it? Yeah, I definitely get some like that, like honey in the aroma. Not so much in the palate because it's all hops, but
it's got kind of a honeycomb aroma to it.
I'm kind of getting it in the palate. I mean, I'm only comparing it to this. I mean, this was a great show to do these two beers because they actually kind of contrast well.
They're very
two
different
beers.
takes
And
on the style.
comparing the Bells to the Abrasive Ale, it's definitely got. I think it's more malt forward, to be honest with you. It's very well balanced.
Wait, which one is?
The Bells.
Yeah. Well, you think so? Really?
Yeah, I mean,
this one is. You said malt forward?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting off of it. I mean, compared to
I would not go there myself personally.
Well, that's what I'm getting off of it. And as far as the honey and what I mean, I can smell it and I can taste it a bit. This again, and comparing, like I said, we said with the Abrasive, this wasn't too bitter, and it's the same with this. This isn't very, at least on our scale, it's not overwhelmingly bitter.
Again, with this is all hops all day long, but all on the aroma side.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's a malty beer.
Right. But it's all about the aroma. It's not on the bittering side. So I see what you're saying with that, where it's like you get all that delicious, amazing hop aroma, which is one of the reasons why HopSlam should be drank fresher as fresh as possible.
Sure.
Because aroma hops are the first things to fall out.
Yeah, exactly.
and so beyond once you push past the aroma and you do get it on your palate, yes, you do get a lot of that honey, a lot of the malt, not the honey, but a lot of the malt coming in. And so I see exactly what you're saying.
I'm just saying compared to the Abrasive Ale, it's not that this is unbalanced. They're different beers, but it seems like everything's in harmony with the HopSlam.
Right,
As far
yeah.
as it's not over hopped for the sake of being over hopped, just to say it's a hoppy beer.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like a lot of in Southern California we're in like hop paradise down here, but a lot of times you'll run into IPAs that are bitter, but they are bitter. Like they're very aggressive when it comes, almost brash when it comes to the bitterness. And these, I mean, obviously
kind of
they have
sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. They have a balancing bitterness. It's not bitter for the sake of kicking your teeth in.
And I'm also getting a lot of that bitterness at the end. Like when I let it, when I just sit and let everything kind of go, do its thing in my mouth.
Wow, that just happened.
So I wasn't done talking. I get a pause so Steve can comment. After I let all that happen, I get that it's like the bitterness kind of creeps back up on me.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like it's way in the back of your tongue is where everything lands.
Yeah.
That was awesome, by the way. Does anyone remember what the IBUs are on this?
A lot. I'm guessing 100 plus because that's kind of like the limit. That's a fair guess.
I don't really think it is though. I don't think it's up that high. I would venture to say it's below 100. Because this is, I know. I'm going based off of the flavor that I'm getting. Because aroma hops don't add any IBUs.
Yeah,
a little
well,
bit.
but then again, I mean, the actual numbers and then perceived bitterness is something else. Because I mean, this is a 10% beer, so you can have 100 IBUs and it's still not feel or like the perceived bitterness.
At this point in the show, we don't know, but I'm taking a bet with Matt right now.
Put your money on the table. Put your money on the
I
table.
don't have any cash on me, so
Oh, I really wanted to be like,
So what
Bam!
is this bet?
$1.
The bet is that he says it's over 100 IBUs. I say it's under.
All right, we're gonna make this an official bet, and then we'll put the results in the show notes.
Yeah. So.
right.
At this point, you've already figured it out.
And
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
read the notes before watching, then you already know.
Don't read the notes beforehand. Well, yeah, you kind of have to. I won't say in the notes. You have to watch the show. Actually, you have to Google it yourself. What? Anyway, what's the bet for though? Because it's not money. Let's not do money. Let's
Bragging
do something.
rights?
No, let's do something like really weird and awkward.
That chair.
That's we're gonna bet for John's chair.
Can we move on? God, what are we doing?
Anyways, I think
Anyhow.
what we've learned from this episode is that the Midwest, they know how to do their hops.
Well, I will say
know how to
that's one
work
thing
it.
I would like to say is that Surly and Bell's, those two breweries especially, but there's many others. Nebraska Brewing Company, perfect
Trogs.
example. Trogs, yeah. There are a lot of breweries in the Midwest that are just saying, hey, you know what? We get that you guys have West Coast IPAs. We get that you have the East Coast this or the Pacific Northwest that. Pay attention, and you should be paying attention.
Definitely.
And you should be trading to get these beers if you can't get them.
Yep.
And, do what you got to get it because they're delicious. They're
good
amazing.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think we should say a bit adieu. And until next week, stay safe and drink beer.
Cheers. I got the log glass.